to watch it be surprised that they're doing things a different way.
This is my coworker. I was like, oh, I really just hold you to like get what, or something like that. And because I wasn't paying attention to how that sounded like me. I usually just hold you until I get what I'm looking for. Pascal got it, but you were just like, I must have heard it. So like I look at her and I'm like, she looks confused, and I processed the thought, no, like, and it was a hilarious and extremely awkward lesson.
Yeah, it was great. I think I tried it last
She cried, I cried, HR cried, everyone cried. It was great.
But no one got sick.
But no one got sick. So it's
Oh wait, it's not just you. It's okay.
I don't want to measure my yardstick of HR. And
Yeah, that's fair.
it's like, there are people that are worse than me. So.
At least one person was.
It's kind of like if you're like running from a bear, you just don't want to be the slowest. You don't want to be the fastest. Just not the slowest. So I'm not. Well, that's not. I don't even know where that fits into the HR right now. Free to someone else. Are you saying you're back?
What? Oh no.
Okay. Because I have a battery I'm going to keep with me for some reason. So I think I'm like third or fourth. So you guys are. Because I also have hey, Jesse, like I got a clean Jesse's the guy who teaches his class and is running. Yeah, so it's like a class he offers like a couple times a year, and then at the end they do a showcase for everyone in the class. No, you're not. There's no like comedy peer pressure. Well, I didn't do the class this time. I did it like a year ago, and he sent out an email. He was like, "Hey, anyone want to do the showcase?" And response open. And I was like, "If the response open, I'll take them. If they're not, that's probably fine."
Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the Stand Up Student Showcase. Give yourselves a hand for coming out. This is going to be so fun. Now, you might be thinking like not all the seats are filled, but come on. You're right, but it's not a big deal. Because one, it's all about like expectations, context, like, oh, it's a big room, it doesn't feel all the way full. But imagine if this were like a third of the size. You'd be like, damn, this is hella packed. So just keep imagining that. Also, we didn't have a tech person, but that's fine. That's not a big deal either, because I brought the camera, and so I'm recording it, and we didn't need music before the show. Nah, you know what's really fun is like bringing it up from like the feeling of a library into a comic. That's great. That'll be great. So I might do like a little bit more time tonight than normal. Did you guys get some wine out there? It was not expensive. But I got 4 different kinds. It's like the best 4 that $15 can buy. And but the reason I did that is because, like, one of them is bound to be might be good. You just got to try them, and then like, oh, this one's not as bad as the others, and then it's happy. It's like a point of comparison. What kind did you get?
Pinot.
How is it?
It's not as bad as the others.
Okay. See? Yeah, exactly. So the students on this showcase tonight, they've been working really hard for the past 8 weeks. They've been writing, they've been learning, give them a hand. They've been practicing and editing and doing all of that work, and now they are here. They're excited to perform for you guys. But it's not just their jobs right now, right? They did a ton of work, but for it to be like really awesome, you guys need to like give it up to them, you know? Like when you hear something funny, like freaking laugh at it. You know, like this isn't TV, this is a social engagement. Show them that you like it, you know? Like you guys are already a great audience. Can you do that for the rest of the show? Yeah. Hell yeah. Cool, and if, you know, the wine helps to get more of that. But they're going to be awesome at this. And also, while you're watching these comedians tonight, know that this stuff is new. Like, they wrote this stuff recently. When you watch a comedian on TV, like an HBO special, you're seeing what represents thousands and thousands of hours, so many repetitions of the material, editing, going over, tinkering. You know, it's not the first time they've done it, right? So when you're hearing stuff tonight that you're laughing at, you should be extra impressed, right? This is like first time stuff, and it's good. Holy shit. Oh, sorry about the curse word. By the way, non-Google zone right now. This is a non-Google zone. So people might say like some curse words. They might like acknowledge like that I don't know, sex exists. You know? Like a lot of those things that just like you don't see very much or well hear about very much in an office space. Hopefully you don't see it. But okay, so that is going to be happening tonight, and if you're cool with that, awesome. If you're not cool with that, then that's cool. That's fine too. You don't need to get HR involved though. Just like at some point, just be like, oh, I gotta take a bathroom break, and then don't come back. Okay, cool. So we have an agreement. There's the contract. In the theme of doing new stuff, I am also going to be doing new stuff tonight. Kind of like it's like when we go and we write new stuff, we all go back to the same drawing board. Okay? So I might say some stuff that you're like, well, that's not very funny at all. Right? But that is just, the only reason I did that was to show you that we're all, you know, flawed. The only reason that I might even possibly do old stuff is if you like, I don't know, like don't laugh at 2 jokes in a row. I get nervous. So otherwise, I'm just going to be doing new stuff. Okay, so who here is from San Francisco? Tight, everybody. All right, so that's cool. That's you didn't grow up there? No. No. Midwest. Yeah. I born and raised in San Francisco. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a district called Vacaville, and it's great. I mean, I live in San Francisco now, and it is great. It really is. Like, so my car got broken in today, right? But that to me, that's just part of rent in San Francisco. That's not a big deal. Like that happens every few months. No big deal. That's just like a little bit of rent. You know? Like I don't even orient to it the same way. Like living in San Francisco teaches you to think about things in ways that you didn't think about them before. You know, like the first time my car got broken into in San Francisco, I felt the way that maybe everyone else would have felt, like a little bit violated. You know, my privacy and my stuff is gone. The second time, I got angry, like the way everybody else would probably. You know, why me? Why God? Why me? But by time number 7, I was just like, hey, there's a great milkshake place by the window repair place. It's milkshake day. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. They know my name, my first name there at the window place. It's gonna be so fun. They give me a discount sometimes. Depending on who's working there, it's gonna be awesome. Get a milkshake. Anyway, this is just a long explanation for why I'm gassy. With my car getting broken into, I've gotten good at that experience too. Like I critique the robbers. You know, like they'll break into my car and I'm just like, you didn't even take my phone charger? You idiots. The first time I had a break into my car, I had Deep Thoughts by Jack Handey. It's a hilarious book of one-liners, right? And I was like, damn, they didn't take this, you know? Like, can't believe it. They got bad taste. And then ever since then, I've just kind of left it in my car. and they never take it. They'll take like paper clips and leave that book. It's a good-ass book. If you guys ever break into my car, I really recommend taking that book. I finished reading it, so you can have it. It's one window away. That was pretty good. I think it was a keeper. I love the smell in San Francisco. Who's with me on that, everybody? Some of you might be thinking, well, it doesn't smell very good at all in San Francisco. Yeah, but you're looking at it wrong. San Francisco is super expensive. Imagine how expensive it would be if that city smelled good. That's not a bad smell. That's the smell of discounts. I'm walking around, I see a little doo-doo on the sidewalk, and I'm like, there's my rent control. All right, pretty good. All right, this is not too bad. I'm a positive guy. I'm like a Mormon without the religion. It's you know, like, and it helps to be a comedian. It helps you be positive if you're doing comedy, because you can look at everything through this kind of lens where you're like, okay, it's bad, it's not good what's happening, but is it also funny? You know, can I make a bit out of this? So I've been doing that. I've been trying to look at things that way. You know, like, for instance, I had a terrible experience recently. I tried to get my plants repotted 4 times. I walked my plants to the plant potting shop 4 times, and they were closed every single time. And I had to walk with my plants all the way back to my apartment, and that sucked. But then I was like, you know what? I'm a comedian. This can be calm. You know what? So what? So what if all my neighbors think that I take my plant for walks? That is no big deal. I can just talk about it on stage, and then it's all good.
Yeah.
They're not all going to be winners. I mean, they could be, but that one wasn't. When I hear something like negative, I instinctively steer away from it. That's just how I am. Like, when I hear the word riddled, like, I know that sentence never ends well. You know, nobody's ever like, Arthur got his test results back. He's riddled with charisma. It's spread all over his body to the point where every part of him is doable. All right, now, it's going to be... I should get out of here soon. Okay, this one's not going to work, but I'll do it anyway. Okay. So, I got a girlfriend, it's great, and even when I didn't have a girlfriend, a lot of people think, like, dating's difficult. Not me. I think they're all just learning experiences. You know, like, I learned, for instance, that you should never take a woman to the Olive Garden. You know? Because on account of how, when you're there, your family... I know. Sometimes I do jokes just for me. Sometimes I don't even know that those jokes are just for me until after I tell them, and then I'm like, oh, that was for me. Sometimes I know ahead of time, and like, here's one. Have you guys tried that schmear for bagels that tastes like PBR? No? Yeah. Seriously? None of you have tried the PBR? None of you have tried Pap Schmear? No. See that look on your faces? That's the look. I tell somebody that joke, they're like, I fucking hate you right now. And oh man, I eat that up. That's so nice. That is sustenance for me. You guys ready to get the show going? Woo! This is going to be great. And I already said the first 2 curse words, so we're off to a good start. You guys, your next comedian tonight, she is so funny. I've really enjoyed having her in class. She's always positive. She's easy to make laugh, and so like that. I mean, she's just like such a nice presence in class, and she's super funny. She tells these stories about like her family and things that are just so fun to watch. Man, you guys are gonna love her. Put your hands together real loud for Avanti. Come on.
He insisted. I thought, sure, I'll give you that chance. That San Francisco bit, I helped him make it. I give him a lot of instructions, but I think men in general need a lot of instructions about things, like from us. Like you tell them, put the clothes in the dryer. They'll be like, what clothes? You have to say, because there are more men here, you have to say, from the washer. Clothes which are washed have to go in the dryer, Unload the dishes from the dishwasher. Pick me up from the spa. Okay, maybe. Now I know what you guys are thinking, if her husband is doing the dishes and the laundry and everything, what does she do at home? Yeah, I know. That's how marriages work, people. Wives gives instructions, husbands follow them, then we find faults with it. That's how it is like being married, to me. But you know what, going back to that washer and dryer, I can't seem to get it out of my head. There was a time when we were renting and we used to have a shared laundry. Anyone here used a shared laundry? Oh, most of you are from Google, so you know the shared laundry here, right? Yeah. It's exactly like that. If you don't unload your clothes, somebody else is going to do them for you. It's a time crunch. You have to, the apartment complex laundry, you have to put the coins to get it started. So I put my clothes in the washer, I went to get some coins, and I get back in just a few minutes. There is this big Indian dude who's unloading them. Obviously the clothes which are not washed. He's unloading them. And I get furious. I'm like, why are you removing my clothes? Shocked. It looks at me. Top to bottom, top to bottom. I had to explain. Not these ones. The ones in the washer! Being in the Bay Area, you just don't fight for laundry. You also have to fight for finding a parking spot. The only time I really, really wish I were pregnant is when I see that expecting another parking spot. You guys get it, right? Yeah. I know. It's not going to happen for you, but I still have a chance. I'm getting pregnant. The only time I would follow this ugly dude to his broken down car is when I'm looking for his parking spot. You guys get that too, right? I feel like finding parking in San Francisco is like finding good sex. You have to pay for both. Speaking of sex, we Indians are very, very intrusive. Do you guys have a good sex life? You don't have to tell me right now. I mean, we can talk later. But I went to this furniture store to buy furniture for the men here. Instruction: furniture store to buy furniture. And there was this Indian saleswoman, old kind of. She was like, "Oh dear, are you buying a new house?" And I'm like, "No, we are remodeling actually. That's why I'm getting all this furniture." "Oh, you look like you need a fresh start in life." No, that's not what it is about. I'm just getting furniture, seriously. But I knew it was going to come. She had to invade. "How many kids do you have? Tell me all about them." I say, "Have one, he's a boy, he's so cute," and I go on, but she interrupts me right there. "How old is he, dear? How old is he?" And I go he's 4 years old. "Time for another one, dear." I just turned back and I realized I have to shop on Amazon. Thank you.
You guys ready for your next comedian?
Yeah.
He is hilarious. He took the class a little bit ago, and now he's just been killing it on the comedy scene. I love his stuff. Put your hands together real loud for Ed Rubin.
Thank you, Jesse. My name is Ed Rubin. I am married. I can tell there's a lot of people relieved to hear that out there. My wife is a cat person. I am a dog person. I keep telling her she's just cooking it wrong. Sorry. I feel privileged to be here tonight, or this afternoon, or whatever we want to call it. I suppose my white skin, you can see the major reason I feel privileged. I have other reasons I feel privileged, but they pale in comparison. Or is it the other way around? I took the city bus to get here this morning, but I don't want you to worry. I will return it before the next one is missing. In the romance department, and who doesn't care about an old Googler's romance department? My wife is into spooning. You know, spooning, it's where you lay in your side and you cuddle. It's very romantic. I'm much more into forking. Now, it's not that I have to have sex. It's just a knife to have. So, I don't know if you noticed, but that was all 3 of the major utensils we use every day. I used to have a line in there about a salad fork, but I decided to toss it. I thought that deserved a rim job. Oh wait, I mean a rim shot. A rim shot. I made the mistake of doing that a couple weeks ago when my wife was at the show. And she gave me the biggest tongue lashing. When I joined a previous company, I usually say my current company, but you guys know that would be a lie. When I joined a previous company, they wanted me to take a drug test. Me! Can you believe it? No. I said, hey, there is no need for that. I already know what I like. So, I'm sure there's a lot of sports fans here. I was excited because the 49ers have hired a statistician, and believe it or not, she is going to be working in the locker room, doing uniform distribution. I did that another place, and it's like, no, that is not for this audience. But you guys, I can subject you to it. They say the grass is always greener on the other side, which is how I found out my gardener was colorblind. I've started to get into aerial photography. I hope she won't notice. Did you guys hear about the advertising executive that now is in the sex toy industry?
What?
Advertising executive that's now in the sex toy industry. Now all he plugs is butts. Let me tell you about my friend that is incredibly paranoid. He is so paranoid that when he has sex with a woman, he wears 3 condoms at the same time. The first condom is to prevent pregnancy. The second condom is to prevent disease. And the third condom is so she'll feel something. Thank you very much, everybody. It's been great.
Keep it going for Ed. All right, your next comic, he is super funny. He took my class a little while ago too, and he was always funny in class. He's always funny outside of class. I'd say self-deprecating, but it's mostly at me, but that's fine. Put your hands together real loud for Brandon Sprague.
Thank you, Jesse. Thanks for having me back, especially after last year's incident. So, like Jesse said, I haven't taken this class, or I took this class about a year ago. I'm still here at Google, having quit my day job. So let that temper your expectations for the next couple minutes. So I decided that I'm actually going on vacation immediately after hopping on a plane and going on vacation right after this. So I figured that even if it goes really poorly, I can run away from my problems at about 600 miles an hour, which is a lot faster than I usually get to run away from my problems. So I didn't actually prepare any material for this. Jesse was like, "Hey, you want to do this?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, if you have spaces. It's probably better if I don't, though." So, and so I guess we'll get on with it. Actually, I have a couple coworkers who are here. I didn't specifically tell them to come. I kind of just mentioned I was doing stand-up, and then I hear some kind of tapping on the keyboard, and suddenly there's a calendar event that's watching girls do stand-up. So, thank you guys for showing up. So I have a great team. I really love them. A couple days ago, I was walking back to my desk, and I had one of those strawberry rice cakes. You guys have those in your MKs, the strawberry rice cakes?
Yes.
They're like strawberry covered crack. They're delicious. They're so good. And so I'm walking back to my desk, and I have this coworker, Martin. He's a German fellow, wonderful dude. And he says, "Oh, that rice cake looks like mortadella." And I have no idea what mortadella is, so I say, "What's mortadella?" And he says, "Oh, it's this kind of meat thing." And so he pulls up Google image search, and he searches mortadella. And it looks kind of like bologna. He assured me it's much higher class than bologna, but it looks like bologna. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool, it's bologna." And he says, "Oh, and when I was a kid, we used to have this." And he adds 2 more words to the search. So now it says mortadella, and then it says meat gesicht. Does anyone want to guess what meat gesicht means? No one who speaks German, but does anyone want to just take a guess at what it means?
Spread?
Spread, no. So he searches it. He searches mortadella meat gesicht, and suddenly all the search results are mortadella, but with faces on it. So it's got smiley faces. It's got like different colored, like Thomas the Tank Engine, creepy ass looking smiley faces on the mortadella. And so I'm like, "Martin, what the hell does meat gesicht mean?" And he said, "Oh, it means with face." And that's it. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. He just searched mortadella with face, and the mortadella had faces. And I thought that was hilarious, because he's like so German and innocent. It was just wonderful. It was a delightful coworker experience. Anyway, moving on from random coworker stories. Not a huge fan of bumper stickers. I feel like that's a pretty common opinion. Just don't like them, personal preference. And I saw a bumper sticker that I actually did really like a little while ago. And the bumper sticker said, "Practice random acts of gardening." And I thought, yeah, no, that makes sense. Like, you got random acts of kindness, random acts of gardening. Like, it's nice, it makes sense. And then I realized it doesn't actually make sense at all. Like, if you go to Home Depot and you pick up some daisies, and you plant them in your yard, that's not a random act of gardening. That's premeditated gardening. That is gardening in the first degree right there. And also, why are you planting daisies? We live in California. There's not a lot of water going around. Get some drought-resistant shrubbery, you monster. Anyway, so I'm thinking like a random act of gardening. That's like getting really drunk and like dropping a sequoia in your neighbor's driveway. That's fucking random. So, gardening, plants, vegetables. Segues are hard. I'm a vegetarian. And you can actually tell I'm a vegetarian because I just told you I'm a vegetarian. I didn't become a vegetarian for any of the reasons that people normally become a vegetarian. Not really the ethics or like the health side of things or the environment side of things. But it was mostly just because I like messing with my dad. So a little background for why I like messing with my dad. So when I was like 13, my parents got divorced, which not a big deal. It happens. Dad's first thought was go to Vegas, which he did. He came back with this shirt, which I really like, and a new mom, who I really don't. One thing he did not come back with, though, was my college fund. That shit stayed in Vegas, so I always kind of held that against him a little bit. But so for why I like to, so how I like to piss off my dad is he's this real macho man. He eats, you know, nothing but meat, rides a Harley, got a couple tattoos, literally nothing but steak. I don't think he's ever seen a vegetable in his life, or his feet for that matter. So I got to like I wanted to like break the news to him, you know, tell him I'm a vegetarian, see what he has to say about it. And so I said, you know, Dad, I decided to become a vegetarian. And he just called me a fag. And you know, you can't hold it against him. Like he's old in school, he doesn't realize that, you know, people don't say something like that anymore. I told my boyfriend, he found that hilarious. We're actually only half allowed to laugh at that joke because I'm bi. Anyway, that's my time, but thank you guys.
Man, that mortadella gazeesh thing. I guarantee that half of the people in here after the show are going to Google mortadella gazeesh.
Oh, meat gazeeshed. M-I-T gazeeshed. I have no idea how to spell
Yeah.
it.
And then everybody who searches it is going to click on did you mean.
Yeah, there's some weird not safe for work results there though, so don't do it here. I'm not even going to explain. You'll see. You'll see. I'm going to catch my flight. Have a good one.
All right, you just bumped it up to about 80% of people. All right, you guys, your next comedian. He had this way of heckling that made everyone in class just laugh every time he did it. Just like the friendliest kind of heckle though, like it's a really nice heckle, but also like hilarious. He just had the funniest things to say. Great bits. You guys are gonna love him too. Put your hands together real loud for Francois Rousseau.
I don't know where we all put that back and put it back up. Wait. That was my heckling. Anyway, so I was weighing 165 when I got here in the US a year ago. I know, right? That's a lot of weight, even for the US. But I'm 135 now. The US is actually the healthiest country in the world. Everything is so spread. It's like, do you know Five Guys? You guys go to Five Guys? Yeah. I call it 5 miles. That's how far I need to walk to that place to get food. And that's just food. Like, don't get me started on furniture. Like, I call it the Great IKEA. 20 miles. So, I live in Mountain View. IKEA is in Palo Alto. That's 20 miles. And, you know, it's like, I just moved in, I needed a shower curtain, and I'd never heard of Amazon. But I knew IKEA. So I looked it up, I saw IKEA in Palo Alto, up north, beautiful day, 10 miles each, you know, what's not to like? And it's along the Bay Shore, awesome. Actually, the last mile, it's in a not so nice neighborhood of Palo Alto. The thing is, I looked at the map before. People had told me, East Palo Alto, do not go there. But you look at the map, IKEA is up north. Well, actually, yeah, East Palo Alto is up north. And locals, they try to argue, no, but that's because when you're on the 101, you go from San Jose in the south to San Francisco in the north. So, you know, IKEA is on your left, the east. No, that's not how east works. That's how left and right works. Like, what's the point of a compass if north is always ahead of it? Anyway, so I was walking that last mile in North Palo Alto, aka East Palo Alto. Boy, that's like a war zone. You have like smashed car windows everywhere, gunshots. But you know what? I make it to IKEA alive. So I rush in, I grab the curtain, 50 cents. I'm at the checkout, ready to pay, and there she is. Boy, is she pretty. Her name is Birgitta. She's Swedish. Blonde. Nice curves. And you know, back then I was all alone at night at my studio, sitting on the floor watching TV shows. And you know, I can't resist. I take her on the shelf. Like, you know, I'm French, I'm passionate. And she's only $10. Yeah, I mean, Birgitta is a chair. Like, what were you guys thinking? It's IKEA, and I told you I sit on the floor. So anyway, I grab her and I take her home. Well, through East Palo Alto. So in East Palo Alto, they have those gated communities, but you're just not sure if it's to prevent people from getting in or out. So I'm walking alongside one, like the gates are opening, vomiting this big black SUV, full throttle, like tinted windows. I think either the driver doesn't care if there is a pedestrian, or is hoping to get one. Anyway, he goes on the street, he goes left, same direction as me, but what? 70 feet later, he just parks on the sidewalk. He gets out of the car. He looks mad. He's packing, that's for sure. Shit is about to go down. But you know, it's like, what can I do? So I continue walking towards him. I grab Birgitta by the leg. I kiss her like I've never kissed her before. And you know, I can see a little tag, like 10-year warranty tag. And you know, I'm already picturing myself going back to IKEA victorious with like that bloody chair, just asking for a new one, you know, 10-year warranty. But anyway, so I'm ready to swing. Here it comes. But actually not today. The driver goes straight to the nearest tree, unzips his pants, and just takes a piss. I guess we were both relieved at that point. Anyway, that was the Birgitta stories. You guys can imagine what I had to do to carry back home Sonia. She looked gorgeous in the store. And so kinky with that black leather outfit. The best catch you have ever seen. Well, that actually done good and well. She broke my back in East Palo Alto, but that's for another time.
Amazing. Keep it going for Francois. Take note. That 5 minutes, one story. That's a high difficulty level thing that he just did, and it was great. Way to go, dude. All right. Your next comedian. He is so funny. He took my class a little while ago, and he's been killing it ever since. I've loved hanging out with him. We've been to shows together. It's really fun, and you guys are going to enjoy this. Put your hands together real loud for Darren Busing.
This mic stand's better. I don't have to wrestle it like the one in accelerometer. It's nice. All right, before I start, do we have anybody here that works in sales? All right, let's give them a big hand. All right, let's bring it back to cold hard facts. Money we then spend on Halloween parties and subsidizing wannabe comics like me. Remember our new motto, Google, that money won't burn itself. Anybody here from accounting? Nobody from accounting. Well, let's give them a hand anyway. We're making sure the salespeople don't siphon off all the money. They're the true heroes. I was an early tester for Google Duplex, for that thing where the phone makes a phone call for you. I love it. I mean, it knew all my preferences, knew what to ask. It was great. Now, it announces itself as an artificial assistant, which is fine with me, because I don't want to fool anybody. In fact, when I start a new relationship with a business, I want to be clear, I am not interested in them as people. I have better things to do than talk to service personnel, and Duplex helps me be honest about that. Anyway, it's so easy. Just before the show, I asked it to make a haircut appointment for me. And now I can look at my phone and see I have a 10:30 tomorrow to go fuck yourself. That's harsh. Followed by an 11 o'clock to just shave your head and get it over with. I guess your photos confirm your hair is a lost cause. I guess the bot knows me well too. Google also likes to spend a lot of money, as we all know, on food. So, sir, what's your favorite dessert here at Google?
I'm actually not working here.
Oh, you're not working here. Do you have a favorite dessert?
Whatever happens to be in front of me.
All right. Just not that you just, it can be pies, right? Oh, you got favorite desserts?
I like the spinach cupcakes.
The spinach
Not the
cupcakes.
spinach cupcakes.
Spinach cupcakes. So are they as good as the ones your mom used to make?
No, my mom doesn't make
Okay, just like spinach cupcakes. All right, who here, they also like to spend money on fitness classes. Who here does G-Fit classes? Same person? All right. All right. Well, this will be interesting later. What's your favorite class?
cardio sculpt or my ball challenge.
Cardio sculpt. Is it better? Is it as good as the exercises your mom made you do?
Yes.
Well, you've got it. I want to hear more about this. There's a story here I'm missing. Google also likes to spend money on a lot of just over-designed gadgets. We've got those conference bikes that just gather dust in between crops of unsuspecting interns. We have got those coffee machines that have more processing power than Space Shuttle had. And then we have all those oversized nutcrackers. You know them. They're yellow, they have 2 wheels, and the seat always collapses when you sit on it. Just too much over design. All right. Crowd works harder when there's like no crowd. It really makes the goddamn difference. Is anybody here working robotics? All right. So you're actually like sitting with the crowd, like normal. Oh, you even got it on this shirt. Yeah, like normally guys are off to the side, like I don't need you people, I can make my own friends. But you're sitting with like the regular personnel, so that's good. I'm very impressed. Let me check what's got this next. Okay. I've been working in this valley a long time. Long enough that my first job, I had an office. I had to share it, but it had a ceiling and a door. Then I changed jobs and that office shrunk into a cubicle. Changed again and it shrunk down into a little cubby. And now I'm here at Google, enjoying the glory that is the open plan office so that I can better interact with you, my esteemed colleagues. Hate to break it to you, but y'all ain't that fucking interesting. I know I'm not. But we know why they do it, it's to save money. So, show of hands. Who else here has ordered a fancy extra monitor just so they don't have to look at their diagonal neighbor all day? We're getting our goddamn walls back if we have to do it 2,000 pixels at a time. By the time I leave here, my desk is going to look like a day trader that works for the pre-crime unit. But all that aside, Google's a great place to work, am I right? But you know what really burns my toast? People who don't appreciate how good they have it here. For example, next time Miss Cupcake complains about the food, hit her upside the head with your pork chop. Even if it is overdone, this place is amazing. Captain Fitness over here turns out to be the same person. That was a surprise. Gets to ride a clown bike all the way across campus and gets paid 10 times what a professionally trained clown does. Jesse, is that fair?
Fuck no.
Fuck no. No, it's not. And do we have any Android people here? Android people. Gotta shake your hand, sir. You guys in shopping are keeping the Eurozone afloat all by yourselves. How do you do it? All right. And our accounting people, I got a plan for them. They can just pay the money, pay the fines to Trump directly, tell them it's the money the Europe owes them for NATO, and they will all just fucking call it even. All right. And you know that's the best thing about working at Google? You know. Just before the robots take over the world, we're the last ones that get to control the robots. That is going to be awesome, right? You know what we're going to do? We're going to point those bad boys toward Facebook and run for the fucking hills. You think anyone's going to lift a finger to save those mother suckers? Not after 2016, they aren't. Their only hope is that the robots get stuck on 101 like the rest of us. All right, that's my time. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Joseph. Hey. He's so good. He's super funny. He's sitting right here. Put your hands together real loud for Joseph Bologna.
I didn't mean to make that like a guest appearance moment. He said use the bathroom. Let's see what happened. So I feel like I should be very honest with you guys. I'm going to begin with a bit of an apology. I have to get this off my chest. This is a very one-sided relationship, but honesty is the foundation of all relationships. I'm from North Carolina originally. It's very hard to tell people that. I know there's a lot of stuff that happens there. Born and raised, my family is there, my mom, my dad. I have 3 older siblings. They've never left North Carolina. So it's just a part of who I am, and again, apologies there. My parents were actually very scared when I told them that I was moving to Boston. To them, Boston represents, this very liberal culture. They thought I would lose my conservative Southern Baptist roots and just become, the worst image of a liberal to them when I moved to Boston. I was there for 3 years. Everything subsided. Everything was fine. I was still the same Joseph that they know. And then I told them, moving to San Francisco, so, it got the wheels turning. All the worst images of me came into their head. And I just said, Mom, Dad, you have nothing to worry about. Just ask my Indian immigrant boyfriend. I'm not going to change at all. We all know here, he's actually right there. He's signing autographs after. So we all know that being gay is a choice. I made that decision when I was in high school. I think I just misbubbled a Scantron and changed my life ever since. I've told this particular joke a few times, so I'm going to do a quick poll of the room. Raise your hand if you're not from the United States originally. Okay, keep your hand up if you know what a Scantron is. Oh, cool. If you do know what a Scantron is. Okay, so nobody. One more test. Who's from the United States and doesn't know what a Scantron is? Okay, so you're a product of your education. A Scantron is the machine used when you filter through like a multiple choice test so that it grades it on the fly. So it's always a risk telling that joke, just reading the audience and knowing the room. Cool, so I was saying, being gay is a choice. It obviously isn't, and it's hard to come out to everyone and just realize that I have to do this, every single day of my life to people that I meet. I'm very proud as a gay man, but sometimes it's hard to have that conversation. So then you develop these coping mechanisms as ways to just, decompartmentalize, compartmentalize all these things. So one coping mechanism that I lean on very heavily, and I've gotten a lot of feedback from some people that it's not the healthiest, is I use humor as a way to avoid my problems. I just laugh it off, and that's fine. So I've decided to be introspective and make some changes in my life. I'm going to use humor as a way to laugh at my problems, so at least I get a little more entertainment value. They're still going to be there, but I'm just going to get a laugh at it. So I think it's win-win. Perfect. One person, and this hurts me to say and to announce to everyone, but one person that never laughs at my jokes, doesn't think I'm funny, would prefer to use me for my more practical sense is my mom. She doesn't think I'm funny. She said, you went to school, you didn't go to the clown school, you went to college. So I had to be her tech support for most of my life. And even recently I gave her my old iPhone. So it's the first time that she's had a smartphone. So I've been having the treat of teaching her how to use a smartphone, teaching her what LOL means and the emoji keyboard. I stopped kind of at the frowny face. That's as sophisticated as I've gotten. I've taught her how to use FaceTime as well. At first it was just she could see me, but I couldn't see her. So like navigating that was pretty hard. So she sent me the other day SMH, which is not an acronym that I taught her. How many people know what that means? Okay, so it means shakes my head. Like you say it as like a thing of disapproval. She sent that to me, and I started thinking like, what's next? Is she gonna text me like thirst trap? Is she gonna text me like eggplant emoji water drops? Like I just don't know what to expect. Am I gonna wake up at like 2 a.m. one night and to a text from my mom that says, "You up?" Okay, and that's my time.
Well done. Keep going for Joseph. I love that opening bit, like that kind of like tension going, like where's he going with this? And then it just came together with that great punchline, and then the rest of the act just like smooth as silk, man. It was so funny. Well done. Keep it going for Joseph. Everybody is impressing me tonight. You guys, your next comic is super funny. He's got this quiet confidence about him that you just pick up on, and you know it. You know he's got no doubts. I love it about him. Put your hands together real loud for Will.
So glad we didn't start out with some physical comedy there. All right. Does anyone here self-powered commute? Walk, ride bike? Right. So I see a few of you, which is good. I personally skate. So on behalf of everyone who raised their hand and the rest of you, you're welcome. We are trying to save the world for you. You're not making it easy, but we're trying. There's one group that absolutely loves when I skate by, and that group is dogs. I know this because they're very vocal in their approval. They see me coming from a long way off, and they just start barking. They are letting me know that they love what I'm doing. As I get closer, you can see them crouching up because they want to jump up and, I assume, give me a hug. They're very enthusiastic in their approval. The humans on the other side of the leash are less enthusiastic. Dog owners, I don't know if you're jealous of all the attention I'm getting, or if you don't want me skating because you're actually out to destroy the world, but I see you holding your dogs back and trying to quiet them down. You just don't appreciate me as much as they do. So, skating might seem like an odd choice for a commute to most of you, but I actually trained as a speed skater for many years. And speed skating is a great sport. It's small and it's mostly individual. So what you end up with is you can actually succeed or fail based on your own merit. One way this came up was a couple of years ago, my skating coach had a baby. Well, his wife had a baby, but my understanding is he had some part in that, so he had to take time off to help raise it. And so at the time I'm in my late 20s, which actually makes me one of the youngest people there by far. But because I was one of the better skaters, I got promoted to coach.
Ooh.
And it turns out I love yelling at people. Coaching is a lot of fun. But it meant that I lost a lot of fitness because I wasn't skating myself. So when I moved here, I looked up the local skating team and said, I want to get back into this as a competitor, not as a coach. And it's in Pleasanton. And as much as I love the environment, I am not doing a 70-mile round trip traveling just to work out. So I said it has to wait until I get a car. It took me 9 months to get a car.
Nice car.
Yeah, nice car. But this just wasn't important to me until I really wanted to skate. So I got the car, and I emailed the coach and said, are you guys still practicing at the same time? Because Sunday morning, 8 a.m., I don't want to drive out there and be all alone. No response. So come Saturday, and I told myself, do I want to get up at 6:45 in the morning, which is a few hours earlier than I would normally get up, because I'm normal. Well, I'm normal in the Bay Area. Do I want to get up that early to go to a practice where maybe no one else shows up? And I made this plan. I said, I'm going to have my alarm go off at 6:45 in the morning. I'm going to roll over, I'm going to turn it off and go back to sleep. This is the best of all worlds, right? I get to sleep in on Sunday morning. I don't show up at a practice where no one is, and I get to feel like I accomplished something, that I tried. I didn't realize the problem with this plan is waking up at 6:45 in the morning, I can't remember my plans. By the time I remembered I was just going to turn it off and go back to sleep, I was in the car. But as long as I was in the car, I went ahead and went, and I got lucky. There was a group there, and it was the right group. So I looked around, I said, I'm out of shape, but I know that I'm the fastest person there. Mostly because no one else was over the age of 12. They're not the fast 12-year-olds either. Like, my years of coaching let me pick up on the subtle hints. The things like, they're falling down. Or they tell me, I'm not that fast. The subtle things. So yeah, I completely wiped the floor with them. Not literally. I told you they were falling down on their own, they did that. But figuratively, I wiped the floor with them. I also found out why the coach had never responded to my email. Turns out, she was on vacation. And since she was on vacation, all the fast skaters didn't bother to show up. The kids who were there were the ones whose parents didn't want to put up with them for a couple hours. So I was not the fastest person on the team. I was the fastest person in the daycare. But I'll take it, because I was the fastest person. Next week, Coach was back, as was her 14-year-old daughter. And I am no longer under the impression I'm the fastest person on that team. Not even close. And I'm a little bit worried in 2 years, I'm not, I'm just going to be one of the slow ones, because apparently the 12-year-olds turn 14 and they just leave me in the dust. But that's okay, because I know that as long as I'm trying, the dogs will always love me.
Well done. Hell yeah. Nearly one story the entire time. Did a great callback at the end. Man, that was a high skill performance there you gave. That was great. Well done. Hey, we got 2 comics left. You guys still got energy for it? This guy's hilarious. His comedic timing isn't great. It's like he's been doing comedy for a while, but he is taking this class for the first time, I think, right? Like, you've never taken a class. Yeah. Holy crap. You guys, put your hands together real loud for Brett Hiley.
Oh no. None of you guys won the lottery either, huh? I guess we're just stuck here working at Google. Who, show of hands, who bought tickets last night? Okay. Did 1, 2, we'll say 7. Okay. I bought tickets. Brandon here, we went in, we bought some tickets. We bought like 100 tickets. Brandon, please tell them what we won.
Like $16.
$16. Thank you. Yes, but we had we did it right. We put together a contract. We all signed it. These list of rules. We all agreed. If we win $1.6 billion, I think all of our money, we're gonna fund Google Plus for like 3 more days. But yeah, working here is not all bad. There's some perks as well, right? One of my favorite things is the access that we have to explore everything and really work on a lot of different projects that change the world. So I've been doing a 20% project recently where I'm kind of trying to build up this new product. It's similar to, do you guys know like the Google Home? Does anyone have a Google Home? Yeah, okay, a few. So Google Home, it's a speaker, it talks to you, it's smart, it's got the Google Assistant, so it's a smart assistant in it. Mine's kind of similar. It's a little different though. I call it the Smartass Assistant. Some subtle differences. I'll share some examples and let me know what you think. So I'll wake up in the morning, I'll talk to my Google Home, I'll be like, hey Google, what's the weather in San Francisco today? Good morning. Today it will be partly cloudy with a high of 62 and a low of 61.5 degrees. See, it's boring, right? It's kind of boring. So my version, it's going to be more like this. Hey Google, what's the weather in San Francisco today? Boy! Just look out the damn window! It's the same as yesterday! Now go click on some more YouTube videos! But I do, to be fair, if anyone here works on the Google Home team, I do love it. I use it every day. I listen to the news quite often. Recently I was listening to a story from the New York Times. They're talking about this couple in Arizona who were doing a gender reveal party, and they ended up starting a forest fire that took 3 weeks to put out and 800 firefighters. And I just thought, whoa, that is the most creative way to reveal your baby's gender in the New York Times that I've ever seen. They'll make great parents. Another story I heard that caught me a bit off guard, there was this story that there's this big group of research scientists that came together and put together this report saying that they no longer really have confidence and believe in the Big Bang Theory. And I thought, in 2018, that's bizarre. They got like 7 Emmys and 3 Teen Choice Awards, according to my Google Home. So I'm running up on my time here, so I'll leave you with this. I missed the class where we talked about where to leave the microphone.
Well done, Brett. That was great. You did character. That takes confidence to do. That was awesome. Well done.
Thanks.
Totally invested, and it paid off. Big laugh. Great job, Brett. All right, you guys ready for your last comedian tonight? She is so funny. I have laughed at her jokes in class, like I think every single session. And now I can't wait for you guys to hear these jokes and laugh too. Put your hands together real loud for Anos Clint.
Thank you. Hello. How is everyone tonight? Great. I'm so excited to be here. I'm really honored to be working at Google with all of these smart people. Who here works at Google? Round of applause. So, how many of you also went to public school? Round of applause. I also am a victim of public schooling education. I'm honored to work here at Google, but there's a lot of people that are smarter than me in the room all the time, so I'm always trying to navigate that. So I've found a lot of really great tricks, like hacks and meetings to push my ideas through. Just between you and I, we can all just kind of share tonight, and you can use these if you want. But one of my tricks that I like to use when everyone's confused or can't decide on something, or we're just having conflict in a meeting, I'm like, guys, everyone take a step back. What we have on our hands is a chicken egg problem. And everyone's like, whoa, you're right. This is a chicken egg problem. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's like Darwinian evolution or cooking issue. Like, I just really go for it every time. So that's how there's a lot of cool tricks like that. I'm from New Mexico. That's my heritage. Woo! Thank you. How many of you are from New Mexico? That sounds about right. It's funny when I tell people that, they look at me and they say, "You don't look Mexican." "Oh, you went to public school too?" For right now, they're building a wall around my state. I'm a little worried about it. New Mexico immigration is an issue, but everyone at Google has been so supportive and so great about it. I do appreciate that. To get over here, I had to fly on a plane with my boyfriend and with my cat. I'm allergic to cats, but the boyfriend's a package with the cat, so I had to get them over here together. Flying with a cat is weird enough, but it's even weirder flying with a cat whose name is Isis. I swear it's after the Egyptian goddess, I swear, but every time I can clarify that. So just getting her through TSA was actually pretty easy because TSA has a 97% failure rate. I don't know if you're familiar with this. They actually 97% of the time fail at people who are trying to smuggle bombs and guns and bombs across the security line. But you know what they are? Like, people give TSA way too much slack because the truth is they're very successful. 100% success rate at confiscating water bottles. Around hydration, we're winning, guys, we're winning. So I just want to keep that up. So now I have a cat in my apartment, which is really tricky because I'm actually allergic to cats. But she's very cute, I love her. The other day, what we're trying to do, we're going for all of these solutions to try to fix my allergies and eliminate hair on the apartment. So I heard this thing about how you can get them cut like a lion, so they've got cute little fur and paws. And this sounded like such an exciting, creative idea. So I started calling everyone. And then I realized in order to properly get my cat groomed, I had to stay on the phone at the office the other day, calling everybody, asking if they shaved pussy for 2 hours. I know. And so, but we got it done, and now she's cuter, she's the cutest one in the apartment, and just a constant reminder that I need to get a Brazilian wax. And I just realized, you know what I have on my hands is a chicken egg problem.
Keep it going for Alice. I do realize that I only started saying things about people's sets right after their sets halfway through the show, but that is not to say that the people in the first half weren't awesome and I don't have specific things to say about them too. It's just I just thought of it midway through the show. So I'll tell you the specific things after the show if you want me to. But that was all the comedians. Give them a hand. That's something that you can mark off your bucket list. That's huge. Most people do not have the bravery to actually perform stand-up comedy, and you accomplished it today. Holy smokes, congratulations. And and you guys now have the tools that if you want to keep doing it, if you want to go into comedy, you absolutely can do that, I wouldn't quit Google, but but that's just because Google's awesome, not because you're not awesome at comedy. Okay. Well done, you guys. And if you want to stay, there's in the comedy community at Google, there is a comedy community at Google. It's go/comedy.
Go/comedy.
That's right, go/comedy. They're meeting today, in fact. So get involved if you want to stay in comedy around here. And if you want to take a stand-up comedy class, I hear there's a really good teacher. Anyway.
My brother-in-law once went on a White House tour, and he worked for a company that used to be called ISIS Pharmaceuticals.
No way.
And he had the sweatshirt, and security called him over and asked him, it's like, you think cat that stupid. Well, that cat called ISIS. Oh, I just. That's a great name for a cat, like an Egyptian cat. You can have a whole thing. That's what we named my cat. Like now I can't do any of the tricks. all the shit that cats totally don't do. Yeah. I have to give it a new name so she won't come and call me. Oh yeah.
I was kidding, but I can't.
Yeah.
You just pick one and then just do it. I have a guest back.
Aerial photography joke. It is hard, like, I think when you figure it out, like, oh, it's someone from all these departments, you're just like, oh no. Yeah. That's crowd work. You gotta have a plan. Yeah. Crowd work is more work without a crowd. Right. Oh, man. Now you have a rip. Yeah, I was looking for the food thing. I was going to look for someone who's like actually eating. Like, I was hoping to find someone eating a donut. And I was going to like donuts were over here. And then I had to like all that stuff. It's like breakfast.
Say whatever.
Yeah. All right, we're back to it wasn't so far back. I was actually going to go up to the robotics guy like, give me a high five. And he's like, oh, you saw.
His dead hands.
Yeah, I couldn't even believe him because he's like, just, he's so
Yeah, it's like, Bridget, this is going to be fun later. It's not going to work at all.
Definitely.
So,
Really confident.
I happen to
I'm super funny, seriously,
you're performing yourself.
Yeah, seriously. I'm so proud of everybody.
8 weeks, so this is the 8th one. Yeah.
It's totally
There are
worth it.
tickets a friend of mine used to sell on the website. That's a double thing, but
Actually, I had a date with my sister on Saturday.
yeah, all right.
So I won't even be in.
Yeah, I really wanted to come and I said no,
Next time,
my clothes are enough.
I think everyone's shy. I didn't have anything.
I have never seen him until
Exactly.
now. Never have.
It's fun.
Get a TDS.
Yes.
Well, next time
Yes.
they go,
Next show,
it
I'm
feels
really
like,
returning
you know, they'll
and
have somebody for a long time.
Exactly, yeah.
No, he is good. He is good. Yeah.
Which one?
Nice try, the devil.
Nice try the devil.
Well, you said
Yeah, he did his show, that whole show about it.
Yeah.
did all of these
Wasn't
sets.
he?
I love your accent. Oh my God,
Yeah.
this is so
I got
cool.
like a whole
That is
different
accent.
set because this was stuff I could only do on Google Campus because like sewing stuff. So when I'm doing the
And he's so good, so I
Oh,
went to
showcase,
lunch today
with the-
because I
with
was
the
like,
piano
I'm not
fight.
prepared. Like, help me. It's like,
I got like totally different stuff. Just like
Did you work with Jesse at all?
more of it.
No, only the
There was
practice.
such a like broken
Funniest tech.
remember that from
Yeah. With Brooke and Danielle.
Although I don't think Brooke's
Like,
gonna be on there.
everybody
Oh,
who
for
took
sure.
class, like, seriously did so
Yeah, I remember I got the same note from Daniele that they, we had said that they
Seriously, you're laughing at everything.
It really helps, yeah. Because when it's just the class, everyone's like screaming quietly and you're working through jokes that you haven't really like tried yet.
Yeah. You just write it and sometimes say, yeah.
You're like, I hope you go well.
Sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time it doesn't.
I did one in like Frank's Hall. So that's just like you just have to keep
But he
going.
always has that face. He
He
does.
does.
You always have that face. You don't laugh at my jokes. Like I did that furniture lady joke. I wasn't planning on making. So why did I do that? Because when I did it, you were just looking like that. So I thought it was funny.
Too. I'm gonna have to like
You actually forgot that
like,
you didn't
did
want to
you
go?
like see
Oh, that you
fine?
were
You were
I
Now I get it.
mean, I think you would have left I always can't tell. Everything sounds great, man. You think everybody is exactly right.
Like,
You can tell them whatever.